What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode 69 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, the first episode of Season 5, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one. And as always, if you are new around here, then make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, round 2 of 2024 after a very successful first round in Bahrain. Of course, heading back to Saudi Arabia for the first time since Season 3. Obviously, didn't go there last season. I know there's a few of you guys who missed this race off the calendar, so good to head back this time around, and hopefully it'll be a good race. And obviously, Jeddah, always exciting circuit. In terms of R&D, I skipped practice in Bahrain, so still haven't got enough points for our first upgrade as of yet. Of course, Lando's upgrades coming through without any issue. Hopefully, those come through before the next race. And in terms of the World Championship standings, obviously, we won the first race in Bahrain. Sainz finished second, and Lando finished third. So a good 40 points on the board for McLaren. Solid start to the season. Hopefully, try and build on that in this second round. So advanced time then, and one day later, we get our weekly results through. So we've got 475 now, so that's enough for us to go for our first upgrade. The only department that hasn't been touched yet is aerodynamics, so we'll go for our first upgrade on that front, and that'll come in after Australia. So we've got a little while till the upgrade comes in. Red Bull quite a way in front aero-wise, so work to do is try and catch him in that department, and Lano's got a durability upgrade coming through as well. So hopefully that'll reach us before we get to Australia next time out, but of course, not a lot more to do in terms of the work in the team hub. So now it's time to head over to Saudi Arabia and get the second race weekend of 2024 underway with qualifying.
Welcome to the Jeddah Corniche, one of the fastest circuits on the calendar. But let's see who will be fastest of them all. We're about to set the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Yes, it's qualifying.
So here we go then, time for qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, second race of the 2024 season, and looking to continue on our strong start with McLaren. Of course, in the last race in Bahrain, we qualified in P11, so not a fantastic starting spot there, and we can't guarantee we'll have pace like we did in Bahrain at every single circuit, so qualifying will be all the more crucial for us over the course of the season. Obviously, the cars around us in terms of drivers like Verstappen and Norris, I doubt they'll make too many mistakes on that front, so let's try and keep with them as best we can pace-wise. The qualifying's never been our strong suit, as you guys have seen over the first 4 seasons of our F1 career. Into turn 4 though, to start our first lap for our first flying lap, and out of turn 27, of course, the most corners on this circuit compared to any other circuit on the calendar this season. So over the line in to start our first lap on the run towards turns 1 and 2. Head down towards the first braking zone, 100 meter board start on the brakes there, down to second gear for the first turn, and into the immediate right hander for turn 2 when trying to avoid those barriers on corner exit. Of course, Jeddah Street Circuit lined with barriers, one of the toughest circuits on the calendar. Heading down towards turn 4 now, very tight left-hander going wide there off the circuit, but keeping 2 wheels on the track, so lucky to avoid any invalidation there. Going through turn 7 and now towards turn 9, making our way towards the end of this first sector here through 10. We'll be careful to try and avoid going deep there at the exit of turn 10 as well, and can out turn 12 now to complete our first sector, 33.071 on the board, and making our way now down towards the third sector out of turn 24 and in towards the second DRS zone on the circuit. Of course, 3 of them in one lap. Of course, the first one being out of turn 19, the second one being here going down towards turn 27, and the last one being on the main straight. So DRS games in play constantly on this lap. As Hulkenberg goes fastest, 1:31.3 on the board for the Haas driver. We come through the last corner and charge it towards the line, likely to be the fastest time to start off qualifying here. So crossing the line now, 1:30.176. Solid start, but our teammate Lando Norris is not too far behind either. He makes it up towards the line to complete his first flying lap. Does he go faster than us? Yes, he does. 1:29.9 for Norris. So 1-2 for McLaren early on, but work to be done then. And we currently sit about a quarter of a second back from our teammate, with Verstappen 3rd, Russell 4th, and Sergio Perez in 5th. But Hamilton down in P8. So obviously that retirement in Bahrain, and obviously not a fantastic start in qualifying so far for the reigning champion. But onto our second lap, going purple in the first sector, but Verstappen has gone fastest as the checker flag has now fallen. So we're coming through to complete our second lap and hopefully try and get us back onto pole position for the first time in quite a few races. It's been a while since our good run in quali last season. Coming through turn 26 now and then down towards 27. Not finding a lot of time here because ERS management crucial in qualifying this season, but a big mistake there. Not really a mistake, it's not as quick through turn 27 and out of the last corner, charging towards the line. Not going to improve on our time at all after a purple sector 1 and green sector 2. We've thrown it away. It'll be P5 for us crossing the line, so better than Bahrain, but obviously still giving us work to do in the Grand Prix for us to try and take our second victory of the season.
Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So Verstappen then nabs pole, Norris in second, Alonso third. Once again, great qualifying from Alonso, Hamilton 4th, and we round out the top 5. So, work to be done in the Grand Prix, number of fast cars around us, number of fast starters. It's time now to jump into the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
We've got fast sweeping corners under the lights and 20 racers all ready to write their name into the quickly growing history of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Cohen, Russell, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Ocon, Stroll, Gasly, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Albon, Ricciardo, Joe, Sargent, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today. Anthony Davidson. Now, sadly, things didn't work out for them last time. It was a bad race. Question is, though, can they recover today?
Yes, they can, Crofty. You've got to put it behind you. Whatever happened last time, I was always told as a driver, park it, forget about it. Obviously, feel the pain when it happens, but then you can't dwell on it and carry that through to the next race. So put it behind you and just crack on with this race coming your way now.
Here we go then, no more talking, time for action for the second race of 2024, time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, in a race that perhaps one of the most popular ones on the calendar in terms of ultimate career these last couple of seasons. But in terms of strategy for the race ahead, then simple one stop, softs to mediums. I did consider running the softs a bit less in the first stint, but I think they should be okay. They should last the full 10 laps, so shouldn't be any issues there. Hopefully run the mediums to the end.
The formation lap gets underway here in Saudi Arabia, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure their car's ready for the battle as the lights go out.
Verstappen leads Norris to turn 1 in terms of starting tyres. 3 outliers then, so myself and Norris in the McLarens on the soft tyres, and so is Logan Sargent starting from the back.
So as all the cars reform the grid, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
Confidence running high then at McLaren after the first round, a very successful first round in Bahrain, leading the Constructors' Championship for the first time in ultimate career and looking to try and begin to further our push for both championships this season. Verstappen will lead Norris, Alonso, Hamilton and us to the first corner. So that's your top 5 as the last 2 cars as Magnussen and Sargent take their places at the back of the grid to get the 25 laps of this Grand Prix underway. The lights are coming on for the race in Saudi Arabia, second round of the 2024 F1 season. It's lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. We're racing here in Jeddah. Decent start from Norris on the left-hand side against Verstappen, going towards turn 1. Alonso covers us off, going in towards the first left-hander, side by side between the 2 leaders and the cars in 3rd and 4th in front of us, Hamilton and Alonso. Norris jumps out front, takes the lead from Verstappen, Hamilton in front of Alonso, so everyone falls into line. P5 for us. Not a fantastic start here. Had a chance to take some places off Alonso and Lewis, but couldn't quite do it, so Alonso covered us off on the run towards that first corner and made it stick. So P5 for us then, not losing out but not gaining anything either, so work to be done over the course of the first stint of this Grand Prix. Pushing further on now towards the end of the first lap off the last corner and try and make a move on Alonso on corner exit using our battery off of turn 27 to complete lap 1. Norris in front by about a second or so here to Verstappen. Hamilton's still in P3, so pushing back towards the first corner. Going to try and make a late move on Alonso if we can. Going into the braking zone, down the inside of the Spaniard. Only just finding way in there into the first corner. Slight tap to Alonso's back left tyre, but no warning for a collision, so all okay. But Alonso does get back in front of us, so maintains P4 for now as Lewis looks to try and challenge Max in front of us. Further on to lap 2 now, making our way out of turn 11 and 12, heading down towards the sweeping left-hander of turn 13 at the far end of the circuit. The outside of the Spaniard going into the left-hander around the outside and making the move stick on Alonso. P4 for us for now, and his work to try and chase down Lewis and Max in front of us, and Lando increasing his advantage here. What a lead he's built in the first lap and a half already for this Grand Prix. He's got to be at least 2 or 3 seconds in front. On to lap 3 now, and DRS in play for us for the first time in this race, and closing on Lewis on the run down towards turn 27. Lewis simultaneously closing on Max, heading towards the braking zone to the outside of our former teammate and the reigning world champion around the outside, trying to make it stick. Can't quite do it though. Lewis maintains his spot. We'll try and get a run on Max down towards turn 1. So P4 for us still, but pushing further onto lap 4 this race. And again, right behind Lewis, tapping the barrier there, going through turn 9 and out of turn 12 and down towards turn 13. Once again, Max there in front of us. Going to try and challenge Lewis to the outside like we did Alonso on the first lap. Contact, making our way through turn 13, and we've got damage there on the front wing, and that's an end plate loss. That could be crucial for us at a circuit such as this one. Lewis seems to come away unscathed, but damage for us, and that could be costly. Got a long way to go in this Grand Prix, but it looks to be all okay in terms of managing. We'll keep it under control for now, but obviously keep an eye if things get any worse. But further on to lap 4 now, Alonso is on our tail going down towards turn 27. Alonso makes the move around the outside. P4 once again for the Spaniard, but diving back inside, trying to take it back through the left-hander, an on-corner exit, slightly in front of Fernando, and narrowly taking P4 back. But all of a sudden, Alonso has turned on the afterburner. He's got a lot more pace than we do here. So on to lap 6 this Grand Prix. Our first objective for the race, try and get around Hamilton Lewis before lap 10. We're trying to make a move here down towards turn 4 if we can, the inside of our former teammate, and making the move around the outside now for turn 5, clearing Lewis and taking that objective away, but narrowly avoiding the barrier, awaiting for us there at turn 6. And now Verstappen 1.3 in front as Norris has built a 4-second lead over us in 3rd place. Further on to lap 6, Lewis once again DRS zone in play. Lewis the outside, making the move nice and easy for the 8-time world champion. Alonso going through as well, double whammy for us, going towards the last corner once again. So let's try and take those places back as quickly as possible. On corner exit heading down towards turn 1 once again to begin lap 7 of this Grand Prix. On to lap 8 though, George Russell is on our tail, running down the DRS zone, heading towards turn number 22 on the circuit, heading towards the chicane. Russell getting closer and closer, won't try and move just yet, but fortunately we've still got DRS off of his teammate Hamilton. Alonso there in third to go over the curb at turn 23 and through 24 now. Hamilton is looking at Alonso, but Russell's looking at us, going down towards this last corner on the circuit, making our way towards the braking zone. Russell closing in, will he try and move? Looks to try and stay in line for now, making our way towards the braking zone. Alonso locks up, there goes Alonso, going wide off the racing line. Hamilton takes P3 back, we take P4, Alonso down to 6th place then, so poor stuff from Alonso, who goes side by side with Russell behind us on the run towards the first corner to begin lap 9 of this Grand Prix, nearing our first pit stop, and Fernando closing in, trying the outside, going towards the braking zone, can't quite do it, so P4 for us. Hulkenberg out of the race then, yellow flag behind us, going towards turn 27, and our first retiree of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in 2024 is Nico Hulkenberg in the Haas. So what's happened to him? Smoke pouring from that Haas there, and that's game over for him. We've all seen it by now. We all know the game at this point in time. But Hulkenberg, unfortunately, his race is over just 8 laps into this thing. His teammate Magnussen goes flying past, so Hulkenberg goes out, and we're down to 19 runners in this Grand Prix. But pushing on now to lap 10, Hamilton is now 2 seconds to the good over us. Verstappen almost 6 seconds in front, and Norris even further ahead as Max tries to challenge him for the lead. But Russell and Alonso again taking both of them taking us, going towards turn 27. We'll get back around Alonso, but Russell looks to have got past us for good here. But of course, it is time now for our first and only pit stop of this Grand Prix. He's heading to the pit lane now. We're just trying to avoid getting a penalty for pit entry, making our way in for our first stop onto the set of medium tyres to run those to the end of the race. Of course, everyone else started on the medium, so what's the game plan for everyone else? Are they trying to go for a set of hards, or go longer, try and run a set of softs, try to do the alternate strategy to what we're doing? But regardless, 2.4 second stop for us. We're away. Only car to enter the pit lane as of right now, I think, except for Logan Sargent, who'll be coming in this time. Of course, had a bit more leeway here for him in terms of his pit strategy, on a different strategy to Alex Albon. But Lando, of course, likely will pit this next time round, going into, as we head back on the racetrack, going out of turn 2 and back onto the circuit in P18 with Magnussen, our next car, in front of us. Objective now to achieve 17th position, basically means getting around Magnussen and quickly, because we can't have him hold us up too much. As Lando's in the pit lane now, he's got Max with him. One of the Mercedes cars staying out for now, not quite sure which one it is. We're making our way down towards turn 27. Having trouble here, even with DRS, not quite making the close on Magnussen, not closing up to the Haas as much as we'd like to, but fortunately, Magnussen pulling off now into the pit lane and followed him and almost went into the pits with him, truthfully, but making our way onto the racetrack once again, onto lap 12 of this Grand Prix, and making our way up the order once more. Number of cars pitting, and crucially coming out in front of both Hamilton and Alonso, so we managed to close back up to Lewis after, of course, he gained a few seconds on us before we made our first stop. So Lewis behind us now, and Alonso there in P12. Obviously, we'll merge in about P4, P3, depending on how Russell gets on. But midway through lap 12 now, making our way down towards turn 27, once again closing on Guan Yu Zhou. And we've got a problem there on the rear wing. DRS is stuck open, crucially, and that could be costly for us. Remember, think back to last season, in the last race in Abu Dhabi, we had a DRS fault early on in the race, had to pit to change it. But this time, do you know what? We're going to run a risk here. We're going to try and stay out and hope this issue fixes itself, because we've seen it do that before in the past. But on to lap 13 for now. We're going to stay out as long as we can with the DRS being as it is. Hopefully it shouldn't cause us too much incident. As we make our way over the next few laps or so with the DRS being the way it is. On to lap 16. To be fair, that it seems it's okay to drive. I think just down to handling all of this game compared to the last few games, it doesn't seem as difficult to navigate, but there's a lot of sliding involved compared to how we were. Very similar to how we were on the soft tyres towards the end of our first stint, but more or less the car simple to control from there. So pushing on to lap 18 now this Grand Prix. The DRS has fixed itself, so back to normal, but Russell only 1.5 seconds behind us, and Verstappen in front has got a problem. Yellow flags ahead. That's Max Verstappen who's got a problem. This late on in the race, on lap 18 of this Grand Prix, Verstappen's car up in smoke. There's the Red Bull on our right, and all of a sudden, major player Max Verstappen out of the Grand Prix, and the McLaren 1-2 is in position. If we can hold on to P2, Lando's setting the race lead. This race is his more or less, short of any late issues for him, but Russell, Hamilton and Alonso are all close to us, and Russell, crucially, is in DRS range on lap 19, heading down towards 27. Once again, Russell closing the gap, tapped the left barrier there, going down towards the braking zone. Russell closing at a rate of knots there, charging around the outside of the Mercedes in just his second race start with what was our old seat over in Brackley. Russell takes the pass, moves into P2, Hamilton in P4 behind us, and Alonso still fifth. So a train here for these last 6 laps of the race. Let's try and get around George Russell, try and maintain the McLaren 1-2 as best we can. Going down towards turn 1, going to try and let go of a late dive there on Russell into the first corner, narrowly going side by side with our compatriot and sealing the deal on corner exits. Back into P2. This could be a cat and mouse game in the way of maintaining second place, but on to further on top 20 now. And once again, Russell with DRS goes blitzing around the outside. It's too easy for him. That Mercedes has still got a lot of pace, even if it is only the 3rd or 4th fastest car on the grid. But off of turn 27 and down the main straight once again, Russell with a fantastic exit, gets DRS to his credit too, and goes around our outside and maintains P2 by half a car, pulling clear on the run towards turn 1. And Lewis almost getting past us as well there. On to lap 21, then 5 more laps to go in this Grand Prix. Can't quite dive past Russell. Gonna have to hold off Lewis as best we can, going through turn 2 in a Mercedes sandwich here. And I can say from experience of being the Mercedes, it's not a nice place to be compared to the cars around us. But on to lap 22 here, Russell still our main focus in front, going through the chicane at turn 23 and 24 and making way down towards 27 once again. DRS now in play for us. Russell is going to have no help this time round except for battery, and going down towards the braking zone. Does Lewis close enough to go for it too? Nope, Lewis is falling back. Going to try and make a move to the inside of Russell this time, going down towards the last corner into the inside with the braking zone to our advantage, and better exit coming off the corner too. Russell might tap the wall there, but up into second place once again now. But Russell will come back at us with DRS on the run towards this first corner. Here comes Lewis as well. Alonso getting awfully close. It's getting quite tight in these last few laps this Grand Prix, and Russell on the inside going into turn 1, may get the place but can't quite do it. We're going to hold him off on the outside of the inside for turn 2, and P2 once again is ours. But only 3 more laps to go in this race, so not a lot of time left to try and hold these guys off, while Norris seizes victory up front. On to lap number 24 now. A lap and a half to go in this thing, and Russell again is in prime position to take P2 back, closing in all the time. Going to pull to the inside this time. Russell gets through on the left hand side, going down towards turn 27, and Alonso takes the outside. So we've been double whammied again in this Grand Prix. Alonso once again fighting him on the inside, going through turn 27, tapping the barrier, trying to get in front of him, can't quite do it. Alonso staying alongside us for about half a car length here as Russell pulls away with P2. 1 more lap to go then in Saudi Arabia, and trying to take P2 back from both these 2 cars on the last lap as Lewis closes in towards turn 1. They're trying to go around the outside of Alonso, the inside for turn 2. Russell locking up a bit there in front of us. Alonso falls away. P4 for him, P3 for us, and closing now on George Russell. Now we're in place to try and take him back with DRS in the closing moments of this Grand Prix. But up front, Lando Norris is still dominating as he's making his way up towards turn 27 for the last time now, as we're closing on Russell, trying to set ourselves up for one last attack on our compatriot in our old Mercedes. But Norris is rounding the last corner now, going through turn 27 and running up towards the line to take his first victory of the season, the 3rd of his ultimate career. Norris runs towards the line and wins in Saudi Arabia, but the fight for P2 is very much still on. One last chance for us, going down towards 27 around the outside of Russell, taking P2 back, and that could be all she wrote here into the final corner. The end plate still missing from our front wing on our McLaren off the last corner, using our batteries to try and pull away from Russell in the closing moments up towards the line, take P2, the first 1-2 for McLaren in ultimate career. Fantastic stuff. Only just managed to do that one. It's a tough race. The cars around us definitely tough customers to beat indeed, but P2 only just, and definitely McLaren will not have it all their own way this season, but the 1-2 for now. Excellent job all round.
Here's the checkered flag, and our winner has Landoed. It's Lando Norris for victory.
The race victory and fastest lap as well today really shows the level of dominance that this driver had over the opposition. Dominance from the start to finish, and it's for the rest of the competition to try and catch them now.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium.
So Lando Norris then wins his first victory of 2024. We finished in second place, and George Russell, in just his second race for Mercedes, takes his first podium in Ultimate career. All around, solid race for McLaren once again. Definitely feeling very good about our team moves head to Australia next round. But of course, Lando will still be one of our toughest competitors this season. Perhaps one of the guys to beat in terms of the World Championship if he keeps winning like that. He's had a fantastic performance today. We'll have to see how much he's closed in the World Championship. Let's have a look now at the final results from what's been a fantastic Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
So Hamilton finishes in 4th place and Alonso takes away 5th, and it's Perez in 6th, Sainz in 7th, Leclerc 8th. Tough day for Ferrari given how quickly they were in Bahrain. Ocon 9th, and Gasly takes the last point in offer, so 3 points going Alpine's way in this Grand Prix. And unfortunately, Max Verstappen down in P19 then didn't finish this race along with Hülkenberg. So in terms of where does that leave us in the World Championship? It leaves us 2 points in front of Norris. Sainz in 3rd place, 19 points back. Work to be done from our competitors to try and close us down over the course of this season, but Norris will be our closest challenger early on in this campaign, and McLaren, though, 51 points clear already in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren, early favourites for both championships here. Can we maintain that all the way to Abu Dhabi? Long way to go still, but guys, that'll do it for this episode of F1 Ultimate Career. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more future F1 content. An absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.